Welcome back to Newstalgia. With this episode, I'm going to focus on Batman Arkham Asylum. Way back before this game came out, comic book based video games were very hit or miss. Don't get me wrong, there were enjoyable games, but none of them were really amazing. I remember when Asylum was announced and the amount of hype I had going into it. Before the release, I started to get very concerned because it had quite a bit of delays. I've always believed that delaying a game more than once is understandable, but at the same time, it opens up the game to harsher criticism. The less issues should be found in the game because of the time you had to spend fine-tuning it. That may just be a personal opinion, but it's one I really believe in. Luckily, when the game came out, it exceeded all my expectations. The combat was so fluid, and it literally felt like you were playing as Batman. To be honest, the final boss fight was a bit of a disappointment, but with the variety of classic DC villains you were able to fight throughout the game, I was okay with it. On top of the excellent story, the casting for this game is Batman the Animated Series fans' dream come true. Not only was Kevin Conroy brought back to voice Batman,
Long night, Jim.
but Mark Hamill was brought in to voice Joker again. If you look at a game like South Park The Fractured But Whole, and hear people say it's like you're playing an actual episode, the same could almost be said for this. Granted, the art style between Asylum and the animated series is completely different, but if you close your eyes and just listen to the dialogue, you could think an episode of the animated series was actually playing. Throughout the sequels of the Arkham series, the world opens up more, which is nice, but there is something to be said for Asylum's closed-in, claustrophobic feel. There are very few places where you actually feel safe, and as you go through the game, you really understand how much of a difficult situation Bruce is in. This game is also filled with Easter eggs, like literally filled with them. There's so many that you can find throughout the Asylum, and it makes hunting for collectibles so much more fun than a tiresome grind that you feel from other games. This game is a truly incredible experience. As you progress, you discover more gadgets and upgrades. The nice thing about these gadgets and upgrades is that not only do they help you complete puzzles from earlier in the game that were blocking your paths or unlockables, but all the gadgets can be used in combat. That right there is one of the many reasons I really love the combat in this game. That and just building a huge multiplier. Every time I come across a group of enemies, I try to get an even better multiplier than the previous fight. Not even because I want to beat a personal record, but because that multiplier increases the XP you gain, which in turn helps you unlock more moves and abilities. When Arkham Asylum first released, it felt fresh and original. There really wasn't anything like it before, and it set a standard for what gamers wanted from a game based on comic book characters. Not only that, though, it set a standard for developers for how much thought and effort should be put into a game like this. If you look at a game like Spider-Man for PS4, you can definitely tell that the Arkham series definitely helped inspire some of the aspects for it. I'm not saying that nothing inspired Arkham. I imagine they took from certain games at the time, but because of Arkham, we definitely started seeing more thought and quality in the superhero games. If you've never experienced the Arkham series, I highly recommend picking this up. The game itself isn't too long, you'll definitely get your money's worth from it though. If you're a fan of Batman, or just a fan of excellent storytelling and fluid combat, you should definitely give this a shot. I hope Night isn't the last we see from this universe. I know there have been rumors about a possible Superman or Justice League game from Rocksteady. Either would be fun to play, but my hope has always been for them to make a Bat Family game. Knight experimented with it a bit, letting you play with other important characters throughout the game, but I'd like to see an entire experience as you go throughout the story, being able to change perspectives, like in Grand Theft Auto 5. Not even that, even if they just all had their own individual story modes or just multiple chapters throughout the game, it would be cool. They could totally pull off Court of the Owls or Death of the Family type of story for it. That's enough for this episode of Newstalgia, and stay tuned for next time.